Welcome to Flip the Switch with Allie, where reality meets satire, and none of us really know what's going on. Hey, wake up, buddy. What are you doing?
Are we live?
Yeah.
That was an awesome dream.
Oh, you were dreaming.
Yeah.
Of course. Well, that just happens to be what we're talking about today. So
Hey,
what a
do you know?
coincidence.
Yeah.
So today we're going to talk about dreams. And let's face it, there's like so many things that go on in dreams. And dreams are so worth talking about because you can go different places in dreams. You could see people that, you haven't seen in forever in your dreams.
And if you do it right, you can control all that.
Okay, so yeah, that's some of the stuff that I want to talk about today because I've heard recently that people are actually talking about like astral travel and basically like going and visiting the pyramids and stuff like that while you're dreaming. And, some people say that they get something called a spiritual download while they're sleeping where they basically are updated on, things that they need to know. And apparently sometimes you remember them and usually you don't.
Like you gather information and then retain it.
Right, like from your spirit guides.
Yeah.
Some people think that that's why we dream is because we're uploading spiritual guidance. So
I feel that. I have deja vu dreams like often. Like it actually just happened to me the other day where I was talking to somebody at work and remembered a dream I had from years ago, and it was with this person, and I'm like, I don't know this person in my dream. But
now you do.
Yeah, and I was like, there it is. Wow.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So I know that we do have an episode with the Gilberts today. So apparently Granny has some dreams that are pretty interesting, and let's see what she dreams about. It's pretty.
Oh, I love Ellen.
I think this is the moment we're all waiting for. It's time for a little preview of Magic Mike Live. And this is tough. I feel like we need a volunteer from the audience.
All these men are so sexy. Granny will make it rain for you. This one's a pod. You're gonna have to come to it yourself. Why don't you come on over here to Granny? You want some of this? Come get it, big boy. My name's Mildred. I love the chocolate bars. Don't tell my husband. Where am I?
Granny Mildred, welcome. I'm over here.
Who said that?
Down here.
Oh. Well, what do you want?
Hey, welcome back. It's been a minute. So, your cards here basically say that you need to stop being such a bitch, Granny.
I ain't no bad woman. I'm a good Christian woman.
I know where you've been, Granny. You're gonna need to stop judging others for doing things that you would like to do yourself. Yeah, cause well, according to this card, you don't really have a lot of time left, and you gotta change your ways because there's some changes coming. And if you don't, get your act together, it looks like you're not gonna go where you intended to go to.
That ain't me. I ain't never been that way.
Listen, Millie, we all know that you tripped that little girl in 4th grade. No, not when you were in 4th grade. This was just a couple years ago she was in 4th grade.
You hear that from Kyle? He's always talking shit.
Well, I don't know. Let's see. We'll throw in some lavender and the sands of time.
Yeah, no, you just need to get your shit together, sweetie. I'm sorry. There really is no hope for you if you don't. So, okay then. I'll do it. I'll be nicer. I'm a good woman. That's really all I have to say. Good luck to ya. How do I get back to that club, though? Oh, yeah. I think it's time for you to wake up, Granny. That was strange.
All right. So, I mean, hey, hello.
I was having another awesome dream.
You weren't even watching Granny?
Granny inspired me.
Well,
She looked like she was enjoying herself. I figured I might as well try and join her.
she definitely was, apparently, until she was rudely interrupted. So, from what I heard about the spiritual download when I was listening to people talking about it, that's kind of what I imagined
Yeah.
would happen. Like, kind of like a tarot card reading, something like that.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
So I want to hear about your guys' dreams. If you've had like an interesting dream or something that you want to share with us that goes along with what we're talking about, give us a call. Our number is 419-971-4102, and you can share your experience with us. So,
I'm sure you've got some great unconscious stories. We all do.
right. So one thing that I want to share is actually something that happened to me before with like sleep paralysis. So
That's scary.
it can be. So and this is one of the scariest dreams that I've ever had because I knew that I was like awake. And what happened was I was going to bed and I was really super tired. So I fell asleep like immediately. And then I started having a really scary dream and I tried to wake up, but I was so tired in my body, like I couldn't like barely open my eyes or anything, but I could open my eyes a little bit and I could see the TV that was in the other room, like through the door, and I could hear it. So I knew I was awake, but I couldn't wake up. And then I was like, whatever, it was just a scary dream and I'm really tired. And I went right back asleep in the same dream. So I woke up again and I was so tired I wanted to go back to sleep. So I like shook my head and I was like, oh, like wake up, and I sat there for a minute and I was like, all right, like enough time has passed. I should be able to go back to sleep. And I did, but I went right back into that same stupid dream. And I had a roommate at the time. So I woke up again from the dream, but again, like my body was almost paralyzed. And I was hearing like,
Did you feel stiff at all, or was it just like...
oh yeah, like I could not move.
So like...
Yeah, I could barely even open my eyes, and like just like a little crack in my eyes. Just like I said, I could see the TV and I could hear it, but I couldn't actually get up because I was in sleep paralysis. So I got really scared, and so I went downstairs. I got my roommate. She's like, "It looks like you've seen a ghost," and I was like, "Yeah, just come with me."
Well, some people like how do you feel about... They say it's like a demon standing on you, like holding you down.
So check this out. So I told her, I was like, listen, all right, if I fall asleep, okay, I need to sleep, but it just no homo, but hold my hand for while I'm going to sleep.
Saying
I told
no
her what
homo makes
happened.
it homo.
Whatever. Anyways, so basically I was like, hey, will you hold my hand? I need to go to sleep, but if I squeeze your hand at all, shake me until I wake up. Like, shake me violently and make sure that I wake up. She's like, okay, sure. I was like, all right, cool. So I fell asleep, of course, immediately because I was really tired. And I was holding her hand, like, right in front of my face so that I could see my hand, and...
You'd actually see that it was...
Right, so that I could see that it was there. And so I fell asleep thinking I would not go back into this dream, especially with her right next to me, right?
Right back into it.
I went right back into that scary-ass dream.
In
And
the same
so
spot, or did it start over?
I don't know
Oh,
if...
okay.
I don't know. That's irrelevant.
It's not, though, because this is how I defeated a bad dream I had as a kid.
So I actually, like, tried to squeeze her hand, and I could barely open my eyes, but I could see my hand in her hand. And when I was trying to squeeze her hand as hard as I could, my hand was just barely even twitching. And so, like, she didn't know that that was me trying to get her attention, so she just let me, like, go about it. And so I was like, all right. And I took a deep breath, like calmed down or whatever, and I was like, all right, I'm okay with this. And then I started like seeing all these like weird like images in my head, and then like eventually I started getting scared again. And I was like, I gotta wake up for this. And I was so scared that I like literally woke up like sitting straight up, and I looked at her and I was like, why didn't you wake me up? I was trying to squeeze your hand, and like I was barely even able to do anything. And she was like, I didn't think you were like squeezing my hand. I'm sorry. It was so scary. I couldn't go back to sleep that night, even though I was really super tired. I was scared.
That is scary, and I'm not afraid of like most things. That's something like if it were to happen to me, I want to say I would panic, but like I'd be like, what the hell? I'd freak out a little bit.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's definitely some things that go on in our dreams that, you know, like, why do we have them? You know what I mean? They say that we're filing away all the memories that we've gone through the day. And there's actually things that you can do to try to like, have you ever had one of those dreams where you're awake conscious in your dream?
All
Like
the time.
you wake up, you awake from a dream while you're in the dream, like I'm dreaming.
I lucid dream all the time.
Right, lucid dreaming. So some people want to lucid dream. And so one way that you could get there is throughout the day, you can ask yourself, like, am I dreaming? No, I'm awake.
It's tough to learn. It is.
Mm-hmm.
But once you learn how to do it and you can like continuously do it, it's pretty awesome.
So tell me about a little bit about lucid dreaming.
Well, like you said, think about it throughout the day. Like, am I dreaming? Am I not dreaming? What tells me this is a dream? What tells me it's not a dream? Because it's all, and it's like every detail. I just like know when I'm in a dream at this point because I've been doing it for so long. Like I did it when I was like at a like mid-teens. I kept having a dream where there was it wasn't George Washington. It was one of his henchmen. I can't remember like who it was. It was like his last name
George
was,
Washington had henchmen.
I mean, think about it. Politicians have their lower.
Probably, yeah.
They're
I
all
guess I
they're all
never
they're all
really thought
henchmen.
about
Just yeah. Think about it that way. But anyways, he'd be chasing me around my neighborhood, like on my street, and it was a reoccurring dream.
Mm-hmm.
And I would end up at my neighbor's house. I would end up at the Tupa's house, and I
Okay.
would end up behind their chair. And he'd point a shotgun at my face, and right before he pulled the trigger, I would wake up. And I'm like, okay, so I would write down. That's another way. Like when you wake up, write everything you remember, even if it's just like one detail, one word, one letter, whatever it is, and you'll remember more as you continue. Oh, since we're trying to talk about learning how to do it, another like tactic that helps is right before you go to sleep, think about that. Like, okay, I'm going to sleep, so the next time I see myself, I'm in a dream. Like and. Keep doing that. It's not going to happen the first time, but like eventually your mind will like settle on it and realize what's happening. But so I kept having that dream. So basically I was dying in this dream. I wasn't, but like basically I'd wake up right before I died. I feel like that's a thing that happens. Like I've never really died in a dream. I don't know if that's like is that have you died in a dream?
I can breathe underwater in my dreams.
See, so
like
but-
if somebody tries to drown me in a dream, I suppose I would just, you know, like continue to breathe.
yeah. Or
So I
you
don't
wake
know.
up.
I've had dreams
Like those
where I
falling
could
dreams.
like leap and bound, like almost fly, like around in buildings and stuff like that, like going from like one city to another in like great giant leaps and
Oh, so
bounds.
you're like Hulk jumping.
Basically, yeah, but I'm not like Hulk sized. I'm just like me sized,
yeah,
but
yeah.
somehow I'm like flying through there, like getting stuff done. So, I mean, I don't know. I think those dreams are pretty cool. I've never actually just like straight up flown in a dream.
See, people ask me that, like, oh, I want to fly I want to fly. No, like I'm not even. I have no interest in that, like, cause that's just basic. Like that would be a basic skill in your dream. But like eventually, I trained myself to the point where that reoccurring dream, right before I like he pointed the shotgun at my face. I laughed at him and grabbed it and shot him. Haven't had that dream since, and that was
Wow.
like in my teenage years. So like,
Interesting.
yeah. Again, writing helps me a lot. I know everyone's different. Everyone's mind is different. That helped me train myself to lucid dream.
Huh.
I actually, when I lucid dream most of the time now, I just let my dream play out. I realize I'm in a dream, and I'm just like, no, let's just sit back and see what happens. And if I don't like what's happening, yeah, I'll change it. But like most of the time, it's not that bad. I don't dream that often anymore, but like.
Oh, I love dreaming. I dream constantly.
I don't sleep enough to dream, so.
Well, I mean, that's part of it too. You sleep while you're in rapid eye movement, and that's like when you first start to fall asleep, that's when you start to dream. But not a lot of people remember their dreams, but apparently we all do. I remember my dreams like when I first wake up, and like I'll be thinking about like, that was so weird. Why did I do that? Like,
So again,
things that make sense in your dreams that like don't make any sense, like, you know, outside
in the real
your
world,
dream.
like
Yeah.
outside your.
And another thing that I've seen people talk about recently is people will mention how you never see your cell phone in dreams, or that if you're dreaming, you're not supposed to ask the characters in your dream, like, what's the date and time or anything like that, because apparently then they'll know that you're there. And dude, there's so many weird things that people are coming up with when it comes to dreams.
Who knows
So-
what's real and what's not? Like,
I know some people have dreams where like they're speaking to like people that they've known from the past, or like people who have passed on.
yeah,
So like
that could be them visiting you. Like,
yeah, but is that really like them visiting you, or is that just you having a dream about them, you know?
could go either way.
Who knows?
Yeah.
So I want to go ahead and put this out there too. If any of you guys want to share about your dreams, or, you know, if you've lucid dreamt before, or you have like good pointers on how to lucid dream, give us a call. Again, the phone number is 419-971-4102. It is in the comments, so you can go ahead and look it up.
I have a question. What about James
you.
Brown, Mom?
Yeah, you know what? Rhonda Duke, why don't you go ahead and call in about James Brown? So James Brown is not the James Brown that you're thinking
Well, that's
of.
why I'm like,
So
James Brown.
no, it's a dream that she's had.
Oh, I assumed it involved a dream somewhere.
Yeah,
I have no
so
context. That's why James Brown. What?
I know. I don't want to tell her story because she tells it so much better than I
So
can.
you should call in and let's hear it.
Yeah.
I want to hear your story. I don't have any context for James Brown.
I know. Well, I mean, long story short, it's a very real dream that she had, and then there was like a surprise ending. So, I mean, if she wants to get into the story, like, she just tells it better than I do. She can call in. And we would love to hear you tell your story. I know something else about like dreaming. So, do you believe that like our souls might even go to like another realm while we're like lucid dreaming and stuff like that, or while we're dreaming?
It's possible. I mean, it's a possibility. The science behind it is what? Like, how do you even gauge what's actually happening? Like, do they have a thing where like someone else can see your dream? Like, does that exist? I'm sure it does somewhere, not in our level of society.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we couldn't go hook our brain up to a computer and Tyler, you should work on that.
Yeah, just whip up a Dreammobile real quick, Tyler.
Look at him thinking about it, though. He's thinking about it.
Well, I mean, so when it comes down to like our memories and the things that we're dreaming and thinking on a daily basis, you know, it's always subject to change. So one of the questions that I have is like, what happens when you dream about something or somebody that you have not even thought of in forever?
What does that mean? Like,
Yeah, like, have you really subconsciously been thinking about them, or is this like a message or
it
something?
could just be that they were important to you somewhere in your life. So there's like they're stored in your brain somewhere, and your dream is where it comes out. Like, that's possible. Because actually, a lot of something else I've heard is your brain fills your dreams with people you've like walked past in public, but don't know who they are and don't like.
Yeah, because supposedly your brain does not come up with a face that you haven't actually seen in real life before. Oh, is that a phone call? Do we have somebody calling in?
Yeah.
Oh, hi. What's
Well,
your
hello.
name?
Are we about to get the
I
James
was
Brown
not
story?
Sleeping. Yes, this is the James Brown story.
Nice.
All right, let her
Okay.
rip.
I was not sleeping. I had just sat down on my bed, and I laid down, and I felt the bottom of my bed move.
So you were awake
I
when this
sat-
happened?
Yes. I sat up. There was nobody there. And so I thought, holy crap, that was weird. And so I laid back down, and only this time I could not open my eyes. And there was somebody laying next to me. And I knew it was a man, and you can guess why. And I said, oh my gosh, who are you? And he said, my name is James Brown, and I died right over there. And he pointed to a corner in my bedroom.
Wow.
And I said, okay, I can't open my eyes. He goes, it's okay, don't worry about it. He goes, I'm not here to hurt you, but you're going to see everything that you need to see in just a minute. No sooner than he said that, I stood up from my bed, and I was now in his house. I walked into their galley kitchen. I can describe their house to a T. I could feel things. I've never been able to do that before, and I've had very real dreams, and to where, you were talking about how, you have control in your dreams. So do I, okay? I can wake myself up if I don't like the dream.
Right,
I can, do all of that.
Isn't it kind of awesome?
And-
Like, isn't it like, I feel like it's a beautiful thing inside me that I can do that.
Yes, absolutely. I have a lot of control in my dreams. And so this time I was looking through papers, and I found a calendar. I could actually feel the papers in my hands, and I was trying to find out what year I was in. I was in the year 1967, which I was already born. And I found out that I was in September of 1967. And so then I saw his daughter, one of his daughters. He had 3 daughters. And I walked through a little bedroom that was on the other side of the kitchen, that you had to walk through that little bedroom to get to their living room. And in their driveway sat a yellow truck, and the house sat like on a kind of like a cliff. And you could see like all around their house, and it sat on like a forked river. And I'm going to make this long story really, really short, because it's a lot more detailed than what I'm going to tell you.
Yeah.
But he had 3 daughters. One was in school, 2 were at home. He had blonde hair, blue eyes, a blonde mustache, and he told me that all about his life. And then it started raining. Well, the roof leaked, and I could look out one of the windows, and I could see the river was coming up the house. And so I started getting a drawer that I was putting stuff in that I was going to need to take with me. Well, Allie's youngest brother, his name is Brian, and my Brian loved trains, so I picked up a little train and I put that in the drawer. Well, there was a few other things in there that I put that would have pertained to my life, not his, And
So you were in his house,
short,
but you took things from
Huh?
his house. You were in his house. You took
Yeah.
things from his house that represented you.
yes, it was in his house. His house was completely different than our house.
Yeah.
Our house was nothing, as big, nothing. I mean, they had a mud room. We didn't. They had this big, huge balcony that walked all the way around, or a porch that went wrapped around their house, and it was, like 2 stories up. It was absolutely beautiful. But when it started raining and it started, flooding the house, I knew I had to get out of there. And so it was so weird, because the guy that actually rented me the place that me and Allie and Brian lived at, he would come there every single morning, because he had a shop in the garage. I mean, out in the garage in the parking lot. And so he would always come in and have coffee with me, and he was coming to the door as I was opening the door, because I knew that he was coming to my door, even though I was still kind of like in that trance. I could not see him. I could not see the door, but my hand was on the doorknob, and I opened the door, and that's when I finally saw him and the door.
So that's like when you came
So
back from the trance?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but it wasn't, I'm telling you, it was not a dream. I was not sleeping.
You were like almost possessed, maybe.
living in his life.
Yeah.
And I had told my sister-in-law at the time, because she was very in tune with the spiritual world too.
Yeah.
And she said, Rhonda, isn't there a graveyard across the street from your house? I said, yeah, kitty corner. And she goes, go over there and look and see if there's a grave with the name
James
Brown on it.
Yeah.
And there was, right next to the road.
Wow.
Yeah. So, now what do you make of that?
Yeah, I don't know.
A message from the other side.
Yeah. Did you like feel like you were like him during that trance, or were you like watching?
Oh, yes, I was absolutely in his wife's body, but I knew it was me. Because I looked down at my body and it was not my body.
Yeah. Wow.
I was in her body.
Oh, so you were in his wife's body, not his body.
Yes,
Oh,
I was
that's
in his
even-
wife's body. Yes.
Wow, what a story! Like
And I could describe his kids to you to a T.
you gave like great details for like the part of the story you told us. I kind of want to hear more, like another time.
That story has not changed ever. Like,
No?
Rhonda tells
Oh, and-
some great stories in detail, and that is one of them that every single detail it never changes.
Because it was the truth. Exactly.
yeah, because it was so real
Oh, and
to
by
her.
the way, Gore Orphanage, we were not drunk or high, Allie, just so you know.
I thought you said Uncle Gary was drunk and trying to pee
No,
or something.
and it wasn't Uncle Gary, it was Aunt Debbie. It was two guys, one guy I was dating, and it was actually Aunt Pot's ex-husband, Herc, was the other guy that was there with us.
Yeah.
And they saw flashlights and two men yelling as they were running towards them, and that's when they come barreling out of the cornfield, running away from these two guys, and we saw the light.
Looks like we have another
But
call
we
coming
didn't
in.
see anybody. We heard them, but we didn't see anybody.
All right, well, let's get this other call in. Thank you for calling in, Mama
Oh.
Dukes. We'll talk to
Yeah,
you later.
thank you. I'm glad to hear from you.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Thanks for calling Flip the Switch. What's up? Who's this?
Hey, it's John.
Hey,
How you
John.
done?
How's it
How you
going?
done? It's going good. It's going good.
Awesome. So tell us
it's-
about your dream or your experience. We want to hear it.
Yeah, I have to say that this is an excellent topic.
I agree.
I really dig it.
We were pretty excited about this one, actually.
Yeah.
So as for like lucid dreaming and just weird dreams, like I'm in recovery right now, so I've got almost 4 months under my belt. So no
That's awesome,
alcohol,
man.
no substances.
We all got to start somewhere.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, but being in recovery, like like when you're drinking, you have a lot of nights where you either you have dreams and you don't remember them, or they're just dreamless. So now that I'm in recovery, I find myself having all kinds of weird dreams.
It does change things. I've been there. So.
Oh yeah. But I have using dreams. I have lucid dreams.
What do you
I
choose
had
to
a
do in
dream
those lucid dreams? Like when you realize you're in the dream, like what's your favorite thing to go do?
Yeah.
Like I find a lake and I go skip stones. Like that's just something I like doing in the real world. So like I go find a lake and
Yeah. I don't know. Like I like to test like the boundaries of the
Yeah.
dream.
also see how
You
far
know,
you
like-
can travel.
Yeah, like almost like break the fourth wall. Like
Yeah.
Like you notice that like if you're ever in a lucid dream and you tell like dream people, like people that are in the dream that that you're dreaming, they usually get mad at you.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
I stay away from that. I kind of always stayed away from that, anyways.
Almost any
Yeah,
time I
it's-
try to control something in my dream, or like if I try to like punch something or like hit or move really fast,
I avoid violence in my
I
dreams too. Yeah.
or like one time I decided I was in a line and I was like, I'm dreaming, and I was like, I'm gonna tell the person behind me that I know that I'm dreaming because I know you're not supposed to, because I'm a menace. So
Yeah.
I went to go turn around and all of a sudden I was like,
Slow motion.
yeah, like I couldn't turn around. So anytime I tried to change my dream, well, not anytime, but a lot of times, like my dream's like, nope. But what happens like when you tell these people that you know that you're dreaming?
they usually get real mad at me, and then the dream ends. So it's like I try to avoid doing that now.
Yeah, yeah. Do you ever like write down like anything you can remember?
What, like a dream journal?
Yeah, yeah.
I've always thought about doing it, but like I just never get around to it. But the dreams that like I really stick out to me, I usually remember pretty well.
Oh, okay. So like you just remember them anyways.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But I remember you guys talking about how being able to like breathe underwater, like that's something that I do on often.
Yeah.
Also, being able to squeeze into smaller places, like being able to go through pipes.
Well, that sounds fun. I might actually try
I
that.
would never. I am so
I was gonna
afraid
say,
of
are you
being like.
claustrophobic?
I don't think so. I just don't want to. Listen, when we were in Florida, there was a spring where like a tree like had fallen over, and there was like this space where like everybody was swimming underneath of it, and like I was looking with my goggles on and everything, and I was looking at it like the hole looks big enough for me, but when I got down there, I was like, what if my ass gets stuck or something like that, and then I can't back up, and then like I need to get up and get some air, and I freak out and die. So my brother was like, well, you know how a cat uses its whiskers to tell, like, he'll be like, well, he was like, what do your whiskers say? And I was like, my whiskers say no, bro. Like, I'm not even doing it. I wouldn't be going in a tunnel. No, because if I don't realize I'm dreaming and I go through a tunnel, I'm just going to dream die or panic the whole time. Like, I'm stuck in a Super Mario Brothers tube or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Good analogy. Super Mario Brothers 2.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So since you said you've been in recovery for like 4 months.
Yeah.
Have your dreams gotten like more intense as you go further into your recovery, or were they like initially more intense and they're like calming down as you get further?
Yeah, I feel like they were more intense when I first started in recovery.
Oh, so your
They're
mind's like
already-
settling down a little bit.
Yeah, like I remember there was one night where I had this dream where I, ended up getting some drugs, or I think that like I had realized that I ingested drugs, and then like I woke up in my bed. Now, at a younger age, I kicked a hole in my wall, and we since then plastered it over and everything, but there's like this part where you could feel the plaster divot in the wall.
Yeah, it's different than the rest of the wall.
Yeah, and I remember like reaching out, like realizing that I'm in my bed back home, and I touched the plaster on the wall, and I realized that there's the divot there, and then I was at home, and I'm like, oh my God, that shit really happened.
Oh,
And I remember freaking out, and then I remember waking up and being realized that like, okay, I'm in the treatment center, and none of that shit happened, and it's not a big deal.
Oh, okay. So you weren't even
Oh.
home
Oh,
when this
Yeah.
happened.
it was like a dream in a dream.
Yeah, we're going Inception
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, I will say, when I quit smoking weed for nursing school, shit got weird, bro. My dreams were so weird when I quit smoking weed. I can't even, nobody but me will know some of the things that I've dreamt before because they were so weird that I'm like, nope. That's a secret that I will definitely keep about myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, the dreams that I had when I quit smoking weed were so ridiculously vivid, and like they weren't necessarily like scary or
Just more
anything.
intense. Like it
They were
intensifies.
so intense. Yeah, like everything about them was intense. So I don't know. I mean, like the dreams that I have, and I almost always remember my dreams when I wake up, but I forget them through the day. So I do need to. I have a dream journal, and I keep on forgetting to write them down. but
Yeah.
when I do write my dreams down, I can look back on them and I remember them.
Yeah.
But if I don't, I can't remember.
Well, if you have like the actual like physical form in front of you, it's easier to piece together because it is a memory. Like a dream is a memory.
Yeah.
It's a subconscious memory. If you have like the words in front of you and like a physical version of what's in your head, you can piece it together a little bit better.
Yeah.
This is why I just write about everything. Like literally, writing is kind of like one of the only reasons I'm still alive, because like. Things aren't that bad. Things aren't as bad as they seem. Like, you're not the only one who feels this way. Just stuff like that. Like, so, like, writing basically has saved my life, but it's also helped me, like, control my dreams and, like, all that kind of stuff. So, feel it, man.
Yeah.
You ever had space dreams?
I've kind of avoided that. like I probably have like way in my early like younger years, but I don't remember them. Like before I took control of my dreams. I don't like know what's out there, and like don't necessarily like. I'd love to know what's out there, but I would just be creating a false memory at that point.
I would say the
Yeah.
closest thing that I've come to a space dream would be the one time that I did DMT and my soul like shot out of my body. But other than that,
I have questions about this.
the other space dreams that I would say is just when I'm like doing those super hyper jumps. Like one time I jumped all the way from Grafton to Columbia Station.
That's a pretty big jump.
Like, anybody that's not from here wouldn't know what I'm talking about, but it's basically like a jump from one like part of the county to the next part of the county, like the next city
Yeah.
over. Like just
Well, like
really
crazy
big
moon physics.
strides, like almost flying, but like
Not.
do you guys know, both of you guys might know what I'm talking about because it's Mario Party. But you know the game where you have like the 3 balloons and or maybe it's just a regular Mario game, but you have like balloons. Oh no, I'm thinking of Fortnite.
That's okay too. Roll with it.
So okay, you can get balloons, and if you have 3 of the balloons, you jump really high.
I kind of know what you're
And you
talking
go
about.
down really slow, and then if you only have 2 balloons, you jump up.
It's like a mid-level jump.
Yeah,
the
and then
one
if you
is
have
like-
one, it's just kind of like bigger, like moon jumps.
Yeah.
So I would have the equivalent of like 10 balloons, like, cause I'm like, like just really fast, just like jumping over places. Like I gotta get here, jump, jump, jump. So what are your space dreams like, John? Do tell. We're here for it.
Let me think. So one that really sticks out to me, like this is back when I was like still smoking weed on a regular.
Mm-hmm.
I remember like it was a space dream. So what was happening was like I was like on like a shuttle launch. I was like on the launch pad or whatever, and I was getting ready to get in the ship, and I was packing a bowl. And like I had my bag of weed out, and somebody grabbed the bag of weed and threw it on the ground outside the spaceship. They're like, if you want that, you gotta stay here on Earth.
Sorry, y'all. My brain went. I threw it on the ground.
Yeah, so like I pocketed what I had, and they didn't see it. So I remember getting on the ship, strapping in, hearing the countdown, hearing the thrusters start up. I remember feeling the G-forces of me being pulled back in my seat. I remember the shaking of the cockpit. And I remember looking out the window and watching like the sky go from a light blue to purple to dark to like black. I remember watching the ice grow on the window, and I remember the cabin getting colder and colder and colder. And then I woke up, and I'm sweating my balls off.
Yeah. Nice.
So the exact opposite of what was going on in your head, yeah.
So speaking of space and dreams, what about people that are abducted by aliens and don't know if it's a dream or if they were really abducted? I mean, if we're going to talk about dreams, we might as well talk about that too.
Yeah,
'cause
yeah.
I mean, yeah.
That could be indistinguishable. So yeah, like I don't know.
I think it's pretty fair to say, I think a recent poll showed that like 73% of Americans believe that aliens exist. At this point,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
pretty.
I'm
who
actually
doesn't?
surprised it's that high, considering how we are.
Does anybody here not believe that aliens exist?
Oh, really?
What?
Our producer
Ty-
just raised his hand.
Okay, Tyler. You're gonna have to you're gonna have to pick up a mic.
We touched on this last week.
I wasn't here.
Hold on. Why do you believe that aliens don't exist exactly?
Because I'm a Christian.
Okay.
So that alone, okay.
Okay.
I mean, there's nowhere to go from there.
Unless God is the alien.
Are we gonna convince you that God is an alien?
No.
Yeah.
Just a little space daddy. I mean, look. All I'm saying is that there are. Haven't you ever seen Ancient Aliens where the guy's like, I'm not saying it was aliens, but it was aliens, you know, like in the meme?
My brain went to Futurama, so.
Okay, no, like, so in the story of Moses, when he was parting the sea,
Okay.
what if there was like an alien guiding him?
I mean, could
And
be.
that the like thing, you know, that the light or whatever that we all imagine the alien ships have.
The beam. like-
Yes, the beam. what if that's what was parting the sea for them to like go through?
I mean, it's
You know?
totally possible. My thing is, like, I've actually, like, read most of the Bible. Like, I actually do this thing where I open to a random page and, like, that's what I'm reading at this point. And, like, there's some pretty good stories in there. But at the same time, they were written so long ago and, like, have been rewritten by so many different people. What's the real story that happened there? That's, like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, great story, though. Depends on the version you read, too, because there's all the...
Yeah.
lineage, like in the beginning of one of the, like the old Bible, it's like, this person, born by this person, explains like a whole lineage thing.
Yeah, and like Genesis, right?
Yeah. See, I don't even go like book by book. I go like, I don't know. Thanks for calling, John. Like, this was actually like pretty awesome.
Yeah, we
Oh, yeah.
appreciate you calling in.
Oh yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, have a good rest of your night,
Anytime.
bud.
All right, you too.
So anybody can still call in. The lines are still open. We would love to hear your stories. So back to this alien stuff. Okay, hold on. So
Part of me believes that because I don't actually like believe anything. I have a lot of ideas. Ideas are easier to change than beliefs. So like I can think something doesn't mean that it's like dead set. This is how I feel. This is what I believe. We could be part alien.
okay, yes,
Easily.
absolutely. I feel like that is absolutely possible.
Have you seen the latest episode of Rick and Morty?
No.
No. Well, okay. Dinosaurs aren't extinct. They left because they knew the planet was going to be destroyed. They're super intelligent. They come back, and one of the first things they say is when they see humans, "Oh, the apes went bald."
That's funny. Yeah, I mean, okay, so think about it this way. I know that I believe it's the ancient Sumerians that have like ancient text or writing or whatever that they found that suggests that we could be like a hybrid of aliens and apes that they created for slave purposes to mine certain things from the earth.
Yeah, like we could just completely be a slave race, and like we've become useless to them, so they just
left us here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know that is one theory that I've heard of, and apparently, you know, if that were to be true, I would have to say that why would they leave us here? Like,
Well, I mean, what do you do with garbage when you're done with it?
I mean, I don't know, but if that's the case, we just kind of, I mean, it could make sense because think about it as well. You know, what happens when an unnatural, like, or an invasive species enters a new habitat, they just kind of take over, you
Which
know?
is what we've done here.
Which is
so,
what we've done, yeah. We kind of,
Imagine what like our pets would be doing if like we didn't exist. My
dogs
dog
wouldn't exist if it weren't for us. We
That's true,
created
too, yeah.
dogs. Dogs are genetically modified by human beings, so they even have eyebrows because we like dogs that can express themselves.
Oh, you mean they need to have faces?
Well, they have
You
faces,
know what
but
I
I mean
mean, though.
eyebrows in particular. That's like
I-
a newer feature on dogs.
I do look at my dog and go, like that. My child is making this face.
I know we do all love dogs. I love my cat. I think she's great. I love my cat. You know, animals dream too.
Oh, I've watched it. Like I actually wake her up because I can tell she's having a bad dream.
I was just gonna say, do you wake up your animal if you think they're
Yeah.
having a bad dream? Because I do.
Well, she'll be like whining and twitching and.
But what if they're really like in the middle of like chasing their like favorite animal or something like that? You know
Maybe.
what I'm saying?
Totally possible.
And then
Okay.
we just like woke them up out of like their perfect dream that they've just they
Sorry.
almost had it.
Sorry, Pep, if that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to help.
Yeah. I know if I see my dog looking like she's struggling in a dream, I'll wake her up too. But it's just me trying to be nice. Hopefully she's not, in like the middle of a field frolicking with like rabbits or something that she's chasing. I don't know. She's a pretty good dog. Like
Narnia is a good dog, yeah.
she'll look at other animals, and like the other day this cat just walked right up on us, and she was like looking up at me, and she was like, "Is this thing a friend? I've never seen this one before. This isn't our cat."
My dog is a straight up hunter. She doesn't care what it is. Okay, but here's the thing. Once she kills something, she doesn't know what to do. She immediately feels bad. It's like, oh, why isn't it moving anymore?
Aw.
My cat is the exact opposite. My cat loves everyone and everything. My cat and my bearded
Big
dragon
floof.
take naps together. Like, what?
Aw. Yeah, your cat's really fluffy.
He is. He's actually
Big floof
his
ball.
name is Angel Fluff. I did not name him. He's kind of an asshole, but if my name was Angel Fluff, I'd be an asshole too. Like, that's kind of how you own that name.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of the rules.
But he's like the hardest lover ever. Like, he digs in. Like, he actually makes my dog boop him. Like, he makes Pepper boop him, and she's like, fine. like does it. You can totally see she's doing it against her will.
So, something that I kind of think that we should get into is kind of like, okay, so what about meditation? Does that count as dreams?
I don't think so, because I meditate basically every day. It actually does help me with my lucid dreaming. That's actually another thank you for mentioning it, because it is like a tactic to like clear your mind. So like if you like meditate before your dream, before you go to sleep, and then you focus on dreaming, that's like a singular thought that you're having. So like you're focused on that right before you go to sleep. That meditating helps you lucid dream.
I find it really hard to clear my mind.
It is difficult. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a very angry person. Outwardly, no one ever knows. You might. You probably get a lot of my anger. Look at that little pout.
I might have seen it a couple times.
Outwardly, I'm like the happiest person anyone knows, and then I tell people I'm probably actually the angriest person you know, and they just don't believe me. But it's there, trust me.
Yeah, when people tell me that I'm nice, like if a customer or something like that is like, "You're such a nice person," or like, "Oh my God, I loved it when my patients would be like, 'You are so kind,'" I would jokingly,
what I was really thinking.
jokingly, I would be like, "Don't tell anybody. I have a reputation to uphold." But like seriously, I'm like, like joke's on you, 'cause I'm not always that nice. But I'm only.
No, I've taught
I'm only a
myself
bitch
to
when I have to
even
be.
be nice when I'm like angry like that, because I know it's me. So like if someone's pissing me off, I'm like, no, keep it cool, man, because like that anger's coming from you, not them. Even if they are like the catalyst for it, it's still inside of you. Like, oh, I own my anger 1,000%, which is why.
Well, I will say that when it comes to meditating, like I said, I think it's hard for me to not have anything in my mind. But you know what I concentrate on? I concentrate on, like, when you close your eyes and you like see different colors.
Yes.
Like that's what I concentrate on. And I've noticed that like one time I was really really stoned, and I was like, I'm too stoned. I think I need to go lay down. And I went to lay down, but I like couldn't go to sleep. I couldn't stop laughing. And I was like kind of embarrassed, cuz I was like I was around other people. And I was like, I think I should go like take a nap, because I feel like I'm too stoned. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and lay down for a minute. And I went to lay down, and I couldn't like actually fall asleep. So I was trying to concentrate on like the colors in front of my eyes. And then I realized I was still completely conscious, but I was literally like lucid dreaming / meditating. I don't know, but I realized that maybe when we're dreaming, we're actually seeing those colors, but our brain is like making connections to make it turn into like a visual.
Like making like pictures and.
Yeah. So I don't know. I love talking about dreams. I could sit here
Me
and talk
too.
about this stuff forever, just because.
We may have to do a part 2 to this at some point.
What say you, audience? A part 2 on dreams? I don't know. I
maybe,
mean, there's
maybe not next week, but like sometime in the future.
Yeah, like the parts of your brain that are activated when you're dreaming, when you look at studies that like compare and contrast the area of your brain that is that you're using while you're dreaming, like the auditory part of your brain is being used, but let's say you usually use like the right side of your brain for things that you hear. When you're dreaming, you'll use the left side of your brain, the same area, the auditory area, but it'll be lit up like you're hearing things, but you're not actually hearing anything. You know, it's just in your dream. And have you ever noticed, or have you guys ever had where like you're just drifting off to fall asleep and you hear like chatter, almost like people talking, or like maybe it sounds like a
And there's
chatty
nothing really
restaurant
there,
background
yeah.
or something like that?
Background noise comes out of nowhere.
For me, it specifically is chatter. I don't know why, but like if you're sitting in like a noisy dining room in a restaurant
I
and
know
you hear
exactly
you'll hear like glasses clink and stuff like that, or you'll hear like, you know, just people chatting, and sometimes you can make out distinct words. That's what I hear when I'm about to fall asleep. And like sometimes I'll even start to have a conversation or something like that, but I'm not like I'm drifting off to sleep, which is, you know, rapid eye movement at the beginning of sleep when you first start dreaming. And then I'll like snore or something like that, because I am a snorer apparently. But you know, I'll just sit there and like wake myself up because
Like your snoring wakes you up?
yes, my snoring. Sometimes my snoring wakes me up. Yes. So depending on, you know, like how janky my neck is
Have
when
you
I
like
fall
tried to
asleep.
do anything for that? Like, because there are like simple things you can do for it,
I mean,
like the strip across your nose.
Yeah.
That, like, opens things up.
yeah. Well, it's not like here. It's actually like in the back of your throat.
Okay.
And yeah, I actually had to have my tonsils removed when I was younger, just because the space in my that space back there in the back of my throat is pretty small. So yeah, I'm a good snorer. I snore very well. Anyways, yes, I'll like wake myself up in the middle of one of these like things, and I'm like, oh, I was just like, I know I was just hearing restaurant noise or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So
I have a question.
yes, you.
So that's the Cavs.
Oh
That's
yes,
the Browns.
Yeah.
What's that? I don't recognize that. What is it?
that's the tribe.
Come on, man.
I don't get it.
Oh, it's all
Yeah,
good.
this is a special sweater
What's the tribe?
that the Guardians. Why are you trying to like bait me here?
It was a
Anyways.
bait. You didn't take it.
It wasn't baiting you because you didn't take the bait.
No, I said it was a bait.
Oh, okay.
You didn't take it. Bad
It was
fish.
a bait.
Bad.
You're a bad fish. Tell me, are you a bad fish too? Yeah. So this is this is actually a special sweater
I mean, I dig it.
that somebody special gave to me. So I thought that I would wear it today
That's
because
cool.
I know that they regularly watch the show.
Are you watching now?
They are.
Okay.
Yes. So yes, it's a Cleveland shirt. It says
You ruined my
216.
fun.
Well,
Try harder.
I know the rules.
What rules?
The PC rules.
PC rules.
Their name is the Guardians.
I have a joke someone told me about this, and I'm not gonna.
Yeah, no, let's not.
It's bad. It's bad.
Save
was-
it for
was-
later.
It was funny. It's just bad.
Yeah.
I actually get like the change a little bit. Not the whole PC thing, but Ian's. They like the name kind of sounds the same.
Ian's.
Like the original Indians
Uh-huh.
is now Guardians.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds very similar. I don't really care what they call themselves
Nah, like-
because, I mean, when it comes down to it, it's still the same team.
It
and
is. And
you know,
apparently they were really good this year. Youngest team in the league.
and the
Well,
lowest
you're the
paid.
youngest. You're probably the lowest paid. Yeah.
But I mean, think about how well they did versus even the Yankees.
Yeah.
Highest versus the lowest.
Well. Yeah.
Guardians are still a great team. I am proud to be from Cleveland, even if I do want to move back home to Florida, like as soon as possible because
So wait,
I,
is that really a thing?
I
Like,
can't-
are you going back to Florida?
I would like to move back to Florida in like a year or two.
Oh,
I
okay.
I can barely breathe out here. Apparently, I'm allergic to something called cottonwood trees, and I'm on like allergy medicine because I cannot breathe. And when I get sick, I like can't get better because my allergies are so bad to whatever trees grow out here that don't grow in Florida. So, yes, I would like to go back home to Florida ASAP. Which is not going to happen for a while. So, you guys get me here in Cleveland for at least another year or two. Enjoy it while it lasts. Because
I mean, if you do this in Florida, we'll still get you here in Cleveland.
well, yeah, but there's things that I want to take care of here. That actually involve my son's school and stuff like that.
Oh, fair enough.
I want to
That's
make
not-
sure that he like
wasn't even
Florida
on my radar
schools
'cause-
Florida schools are horrible. So I want to make sure that my son is in a place where he has enough resources to where he's growing, and we can go from there,
I
establish a
appreciate
good
that.
plan, and
It's
and
good that
then
you
go
know
to
that.
Florida. Well, yeah, he comes
Well,
first.
A
He
lot.
comes
Well, I'm
before
talking about
everything.
like that the schools are so bad there because a lot of people just wouldn't even know that about their where.
Well,
their
yeah,
child is
because they don't
going.
come from Ohio, where we actually have great school systems.
No. Well, if I no matter where I was, if I had a child, I would research like any type of learning or school thing I would be sending them to. Like I'm handing my child off to somebody who's supposed to teach them how to live somewhere down the line, like help them learn how to live. I want to know that person. That's just
Yeah. Well, one of the things that I had that I needed to leave Florida was because they refused to put my son in a school for special needs children because the public school decided that he could read and write, so he was good enough to stay in a public school.
they just put him in public school. They put him in
Mhm.
like the general populace, basically.
No, they put him in a special class in a regular school. But he needs more than that.
Yeah.
So Ohio was like, absolutely, he needs to, be in a special needs school. So now, if we go to Florida, Florida cannot say he needs to go to a regular school. They can't because another school has already decided that he is special needs enough. He needs to get special
Good.
schooling. But anyways, that's neither here nor there, at least not about dreams. So the next episode that we're going to talk about, I kind of want to go more in depth with I don't want to necessarily call it spirituality, but basically more into the astral realm and things of that nature, and the spirit realm, and what is a realm, okay? And why are all these girls like? Why do they all have their tarot cards and crystals, and what does all that stuff mean?
Why does it have to be a girl? It usually is.
It usually is because I'm going by stereotypes. What do you want me
Really?
to say?
We're going back to stereotypes.
Yeah, I like stereotypes. They're
Fair enough.
usually funny.
Sorry, my brain did a lot there. I get stereotyped all the time. It's funny. I have to I have people that look at me. We've already talked about this.
We have. But anyways, we'll go ahead and wrap up the show here. And next week, we're going to go ahead and talk about some more cool stuff when it comes to, like,
Astral projection.
yeah.
The astral plane.
Yeah.
I mean that goes along with like different dimensions and stuff like that too.
Yeah, let's talk about psychics, ghosts, ghost hunters. Let's talk about paranormal.
I actually see ghosts at my job
UFOs.
because I mean tons of people have died there.
I've never seen a ghost. I want to see a ghost.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
Maybe. I blame my mom. I got this from my mom.
Whatever. I've never seen a ghost before, and I want to see a ghost. So I want to go to like a haunted something.
I know people who can. We can make this happen.
Yeah. So that's what we're going to talk about next week.
I actually see this dude who he is a really tall dude. He stands next to my my mixer.
So Jake bakes bread with Slender Man. We're going to talk about that next week here on Flip the Switch with Allie. Have a good one.
Peace, love, and harmony, y'all.